I cannot climb Everest in real life, but nothing better describes the experience of playing Skyblock's most difficult game mode in hardcore. There were over 32 years of attempts to climb Everest before Edmund Hillary finally managed to reach the top. But what do you think the journey was like for the first person who tried to scale Everest, unaware of the dangers lurking in this mountain? Imagine yourself in that position. The task seems simple at first. You get a feel for the mountain and its shape. You grab and you climb, taking care to look out for hazards to trip over. Holes of the snow, uneven parts of the mountain. You're confident until you take your first look behind you and see just how high you've already climbed. You realize that with just one slip, your hard work will be wiped out in an instant. The higher up you are, the greater the consequence of failure. Can you imagine the cold setting in as you climb higher and higher? And can you imagine doing all of that just for one mistake to send you falling down to the bottom? Hypixel Skyblock's Ironman mode can be taken a step further by playing with just one single life. Want to rush glaciate? Better make sure you can tank hits. Want to do something more relaxing like fishing? You better not reel in anything too strong. These are just a few examples of how hardcore makes Ironman progression even slower than it already is. Hardcore mode makes even the most simple task like mining something to be cautious of, because just one mistake will send you back down to the bottom of the mountain. This is the story of my first 100 hours in Skyblock's most difficult challenge. Chapter 1. Into the Ice. First things first, I navigate around the hub to grab the rogue sword and complete our first quest by talking to 12 villagers. I collect a bunch of seeds and wheat to sell for some starter cash, and then head over to the fisherman to purchase a full set of angler armor and equipment. Making sure we're at least somewhat tanky is going to be crucial because, again, if I die just once, that's it. It's over. I purchase a quick pickaxe and the undead sword before taking the time to gather 10 coal and unlock the reforger. I use a good chunk of change to put pure on all the armor pieces and blend it on the equipment. Before heading deeper into the mines though, I quickly get combat 1 and head over to the spider's den to unlock the bestiary, and of course the grandma wolf pet too. I then craft up the standard gold shovel and enchant it with efficiency too. But before heading to the desert, I make sure to take a bite out of each of these cakes for some easy stat buffs. Then I do make my way over to the desert and start grinding some sand to get my mining level up. And then I remembered that I should probably unlock the carpentry skill, so I go ahead and purchase a stack of wool and turn in that quest. Next, I head back to the desert where for some reason I grinded all the way up to mining 12 and even managed to craft a tier 7 sand minion. Afterwards, I head straight to the mines, grab the lazy miner's pickaxe, and then head to the lapis layer because I need to unlock the dwarven mines ASAP. You might think I'm just trying to progress in mining, but in reality, I just want a easy way to enchant my armor. Upon reaching the diamond layer, I quickly grab 5 diamonds and then purchase some bookshelves to max out our enchanting setup. Back in the mines, I collect 15 enchanted lapis and unlock the dwarven mines to start grinding XP. But before doing so, I quickly snag the mithril pickaxe. After getting 30 levels, I put the luck enchant on my undead sword and immediately head over to the lapis layer to start grinding for the armor. I end up getting everything except the chest plate, but this will be more than enough for now. I make sure to put the experience enchant on my pickaxe and reforge it with the lapis crystal to have maximum XP gains. Okay, so I ended up making a big pivot because the traveling zoo was here, and what do you know, the lion pet was available for just 10k coins and 64 raw beef. So I headed straight over to the barn and started taking out cows. Pretty quickly, I was able to grab the materials and purchase the common lion pet. I then immediately took it to Cat, who's going to spend the next day upgrading it to the uncommon rarity. During some more EXP grinding, I managed to get enchanting level 10, so I crafted an experimentation table and did the mini games. And my luck continued as I was even able to grab a guardian pet, which I plan on taking over to Cat once the lion is done. I finally managed to max out the armor, getting growth and prot on all the pieces, and then wrapped up the night by getting some good enchants on the fishing rod and a sword. Okay, actually I got back on about 30 minutes later after learning there's a mining fiesta, so I decided to get a full set of prospecting armor to give us some bonus mining speed, only to realize that the mining fiesta doesn't start for 8 more hours. So I decided to start the first upgrade in the community shop, being Minion 1, and then got off for the night for real. On day 2, I log in and see that there's a mining festival starting in about an hour and 20 minutes. But until then, I wanted to try my hand at some fishing. Fisherwoman Enid tasks me with catching a quick fish to complete her quest, and afterward she tells me about a nearby fishing village. Upon arriving, it looks like I need fishing skill level 5 to progress, so I decided to fish nearby to level up my skill. And while I didn't necessarily fish up anything crazy, we did hit a pretty important milestone, being Skyblock level 6. This allows all drops to be put directly into our inventory, and I am so happy to finally have this. Shortly after, I hit fishing 5 and had a chat with fisherman Gerald, who apparently dropped the engine to his ship here in this pond. Luckily, I was able to fish it up on my first try, but then I decided to actually go unlock the Hot M quest since we're going to be doing a lot of mining. There was also a double powder event going on, so I went ahead and did the puzzler as well. There's so much I want to do right now, but I think I'm actually going to mine up some redstone here because I don't even have the accessory bag unlocked. I spent some time mining a ton of redstone, which I'll probably do even more of during the fiesta, but we did manage to get the rock pet for mining 2,500 ore. After mining some redstone, I made my way to the redstone layer in the deep caverns to turn in all of this redstone for accessory bag slots. After donating my collection, we've got a total of 12 talisman slots, so let's get collecting. At the hub, I purchased the zombie, skeleton, village affinity, mine affinity, intimidation, and scavenger talismans. With still over 15 minutes until the mining fiesta, I decided to go ahead and work on foraging because I'd love to get my hands on Melody's hair. At the hub, I craft up a gold axe and put the double bit reforge on it before talking to the lumberjack to complete his quest. And then I realized I didn't even enchant this axe, so I quickly went and put efficiency 5 on it. Next up, I head over to the birch park and collect 64 logs for Charlie, and he rewards me with his trousers? Thanks, I guess, but he does throw in the travel scroll, so I can't be too upset. Then in the spruce woods, I talk to Kelly to start the next quest and collect 128 spruce logs in exchange for her t-shirt. Following that is the dark thicket, and here I sneak up on Ryan, who asks me to stand inside of a campfire. After doing so, he says he can make us a badge, but he needs 256 dark oak logs in order to make it. Upon delivery, he gives us the campfire initiate badge, and I will be upgrading this, just not right now. Then in the Savannah Woodlands, I talk to Melody, who has apparently broken her harp and asks us to collect a massive 512 acacia logs. Once complete, she repairs her harp and gives us her shoes. But since someone else is using the harp, I decided to head over the jungle island first. Here lies Mulbert, who needs us to gather 512 jungle wood for his traps. After placing them down, it seems like he got caught in one himself. But after rescuing him, he does at least reward us with the mole hat, which completes this armor set. I then find a lobby without someone doing Melody's quest and complete all 11 songs with 100% accuracy just to flex. Oh, and I guess the talisman is cool too. Back in the hub, I meet up with Maxwell and set my power to warrior and put all my extra points in speed for now, as we aren't going to be able to get a cookie and god potion for a little while. The fiesta is starting in just 3 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and start chipping away at our daily commissions. I managed to turn in the first one just before the fiesta started, but my main goal was to collect as many refined minerals as possible. These refined minerals have a rare drop chance of about 1 in 500 for each ore you mine. We want to get at least 24 of these so that we can craft a full set of mineral armor. The reason this armor is so good is because it grants something called mining spread. Essentially, what mining spread does is whenever you mine a single block, it will mine 4 additional blocks if you have the complete set. So it's safe to say this is going to make mining a whole lot easier. I started the fiesta by mining cobblestone, but after getting 22 enchanted cobblestone, I wasn't sure if they could drop, so I pivoted into mithril. After some time, I managed to get my first one, but they're a whole lot rarer than I thought. Luckily, there was a Gone with the Wind event active, which helped a ton with the mithril mining. And once the wind event ended, I still only had 2 refined minerals. So I decided to move over to redstone because we need a ton of it. After almost an hour of switching mining methods, I managed to drop 5 refined minerals, and after taking a look at the recipe, I saw that it required hardened diamond armor, so I immediately got to work mining diamonds. A little later, I unlocked the recipe and immediately crafted the helmet and got straight back to mithril mining. I mined for the entirety of the event and managed to drop 4 more refined minerals and the uncommon rock pet from mining 7500 ore. Here's a quick look at my loot, which I think is pretty solid. The next mining fiesta is in 8 hours and it does start around 4 AM, but I really need this mineral armor. It's insanely lucky for me that Cole happened to be the mayor right when I started this challenge, and who knows how long it will be before he even comes back. With that in mind, we need to make some upgrades to our mining setup to collect more of those refined minerals. My 2 main goals before the next fiesta is to hit hot M2 or maybe 3 and to get a full set of mithril equipment. I also just realized that I have yet to show my death, so I went ahead and typed the /death count command to prove that I've yet to die. Next, I go ahead and craft the mineral boots and turn in 2 quests I completed during the fiesta to reach hot M2. Immediately after, there's a tasty mithril event, so I bring some to Don Espresso, and while we wait for the event to end, I went over to the forge to start making the mithril necklace and cloak. Shortly after, we get the event rewards, which were a flow state book and a mining EXP boost, which I plan to put on a future pet. I then find Cat, who finished upgrading our lion pet to uncommon, but this time I give her my guardian pet as I want to get that thing to rare ASAP for the enchanting wisdom boost. The first upgrade only takes about an hour, so we'll be back shortly. It must be my lucky day because immediately after going back to the mines, there's another tasty mithril event. And then I realized that I wasn't as lucky as I thought because I didn't get the reward since I already participated in another server. Next up, I completed another commission and decided to grind some out until I had 2 commissions that I wasn't able to complete, being the raffle event, which isn't going on right now, and slay 50 creatures, which I'm just not prepared to do. I then finally decided to turn in the rusty engine part and arrive in the backwater buyout. Junker Joel then gives me the junk sinker, and by talking to Roddy, I can apply it to my fishing rod. This gives us a very nice +10 treasure chance in exchange for all the treasure being junk, but that's actually really good for us. We aren't going to start fishing just yet though, because there's another thing I want to take care of. By heading over to the mushroom island, we can purchase a chum bucket with some glowing mushrooms, which will slowly fill up as we take out sea creatures. We need an insane 32 full buckets for the talisman, but it's never too early to start chipping away at it. Back in the buyout, I fish with the goal of filling my first chum bucket, specifically far away from other players, as I don't want them spawning powerful sea creatures to take me out. During this time, I fished up a rusty coin and a sea witch, which I was trying to cheese with my fishing rod before another player came over and took it out. I also managed to hit raw fish collection 2, which unlocks the recipe for the fishing minion. I know I haven't touched on minions yet, and there's a reason for that. I really would like a booster cookie, which allows me to fly on my island so that I can make our area look nice. Anyways, I managed to fill up my chum bucket, and while fishing, I managed to reel in 6 rusty coins, a busted belt buckle, and drop this cool reforged stone from a dumpster diver. I then brought the chum bucket back to Moby and spent some time collecting 64 glowing mushrooms to purchase 8 more chum buckets. Then I went and talked to Kat and picked up our guardian pet, who is now uncommon, but I ended up giving it right back to her to upgrade to rare, which will take 6 more hours. Back in the mines, our first 2 pieces of mithril equipment are done, so I go ahead and start the timer for the mithril belt and gauntlet. Finally, I craft a fishing minion and replace my cobblestone minion with it because I'm too lazy to set up a new spot for him. I then collected my first community upgrade for minion 1 and immediately started the next one for minion 2. By the way, what these do is allow me to have 1 extra minion for each upgrade that I do of these. Afterwards, I decided to hop off for the night because I'd be waking up again in about 3.5 hours for the mining fiesta. Day 3, I did manage to wake up, but with little sleep, I knew I'd be in for a grind. I logged on and saw that the bank interest was in about 15 minutes, so I went ahead and deposited all my money. I guess I set my alarm extra early just in case I struggled to wake up because the fiesta also wasn't starting for another 15 minutes. I then checked in on my fishing minion, but he hadn't made much progress since it had only been a couple of hours. I went ahead and refreshed my cake buffs and made my way over to the Dwarven Mines. At the forge, I collected my mithril belt and gauntlet, meaning we now had the full set of equipment. This equipment is super useful for mithril mining because it gives us a nice fortune and mining speed boost. At this point, the event was starting in just 5 minutes, so I did my best to spawn in some titanium and save it for the event so that I could get double drops. But unfortunately, some player came in and mined it all up just before the event started. I managed to spawn in a couple more before the event, and I'm pretty sure the guy ended up feeling bad because he left a ton of titanium over at his mining spot. About 30 minutes into the event, I had managed to get 3 refined minerals, and there was another another tasty mithril event, so I made sure to participate. I was rewarded with some dwarven ore oats, which was super nice because it gives us a little bit of permanent mining fortune. About an hour later, I managed to collect a total of 7 refined minerals and managed to craft the leggings, meaning all that we need left is the chest plate. I stayed on again for the entire fiesta and mined exclusively mithril this time and only managed to get 1 more refined mineral before the event ended. I did once again get a really nice amount of loot though, and there are still 2 more mining fiestas, so I'm pretty confident we'll be able to complete the set. Before getting back off, I claimed my rare guardian pet from Cat, but I decided to hold off on upgrading anything else, at least for now. Afterwards, I went back to my island to empty out my fishing minion and even upgraded it to tier 2. I was pretty tired though, seeing as I had only slept for 3 hours, so I decided to go back to bed. By the time I got back on, there was already another fiesta, so I immediately headed into the mines with the goal of finishing up this armor set. There was actually a raffle event going on when I joined, and while I didn't win, it did allow me to complete another commission. However, it was replaced by one that I don't think I'll be doing for a very, very long time, because the star sentries do an insane amount of damage. I decided that this time around, I'd be focusing on redstone, as the mining spread for the pieces of mineral armor that we do have are making it so easy to collect. However, every 45 seconds or so, I was having to open up my inventory and craft enchanted redstone manually. This time adds up a lot over the course of the entire fiesta, so I decided it would be worth it to grind out a personal compactor. What this item does is automatically craft whatever item you set it to, which means if we set it to enchanted redstone, we won't need to go into our inventory and craft it manually. In order to get this though, we need 3.5 stacks of enchanted cobblestone, and thanks to the mineral armor and double drops during the event, I was able to very quickly grab the required materials and craft the personal compactor. After setting it to enchanted redstone, I immediately got to grinding, and this definitely paid off because after just 45 minutes of the event, I already had 6 refined mithril. I also participated in another raffle where I again didn't win, but I did manage to get another pet EXP boost, which I decided to go ahead and give to my grandma wolf pet since she'll be accompanying me throughout this fiesta. Shortly after, we managed to drop the final refined mineral for the armor set, so I immediately crafted the chest plate to complete the set. I decided to take a break from redstone and start mining iron, which may sound weird, but there's something really cool that I'll be doing with it, which I'll reveal pretty soon. The mining spread this armor provides is so powerful that I managed to get 9 more refined minerals to craft a talisman, which gives us an additional 3 mining fortune. Oh, and I also ended up getting the rare rock pet for mining an insane 20,000 ore. I ended up doing a bit of coal and gold mining towards the end of the event, and yet again collected an impressive amount of loot. All that iron we just collected is actually going to be put to use right now. There's a lesser known armor set called the Golem armor, which has an impressive amount of defense and even gives you absorption 3 after defeating an enemy. I of course craft the helmet, chest plate, leggings, and boots, but additionally, there's a pretty powerful sword that we can craft with 2 enchanted iron blocks. The sword has a cool right-click ability, but I'm mostly here for the high damage and strength that it provides. With our massive 274 levels, I enchant as much as I can, but even still, we have to make trips to the mines if we want to max out everything. During my EXP grind, I came across another tasty mithril event and was rewarded with another box of dwarven oats for some more permanent mining fortune. I spent the next 30 minutes going back to the mines, grinding XP, and enchanting. Mines, XP, enchant. Mines, XP, enchant. Mines, XP. I really need a booster cookie. And with this, we have a fully maxed out golem sword. I also went ahead and put pure on the entire armor set along with sharp on the sword for some extra damage. And while this armor set may look a little goofy, it will keep us very, very safe. I now feel safe enough to go fishing without the need to hide from any mobs. The fishing was going extremely well because I managed to drop a Magnet 6 book from a Rider of the Deep on my first kill, which has a humble 2% drop chance. I fished for literally 2 hours straight, but ended up stopping once the spooky festival was announced as I didn't want to risk fishing up anything too powerful. My rusty coin total is now up to 31, which is just 1 shy of the hermit crab pet. The spooky festival was starting in about 15 minutes, and while I was going to somewhat participate, I wanted to try to knock out a few more hot end quests. I took out about 50 glaciites for my first quest and actually managed to drop the leggings in the process, which is pretty cool. Right after, there was yet another tasty mithril event, so I delivered the mithril to Don Espresso and then turned in my commission. This time I actually got my first dwarven treasure, which is a super good reforge for all of the mithril equipment. important. I then mined 10 titanium for another commission, but then it was time for the spooky festival. My plan for this festival is to go somewhere where there will not be many players. I decided to go with the deep caverns, and additionally, I won't be opening any chests because I don't want the chance of spawning in something that could take me out. I initially started with redstone pigmen and then remembered that I'm still missing the lapis chestplate. So I moved up a layer to fight the lapis zombies and actually managed to get it pretty quickly. Yes! Oh my gosh, that's actually so fast. I grinded lapis zombies, redstone pigmen, and emerald slimes for most of the event, and even managed to get the candy talisman and candy ring. But the final mining fiesta was going to start right when the spooky festival ended, so I decided to call it early at 200 points and a total of 10 purple candy. I also managed to hit bestiary 5, which was super nice, so I went and upgraded my grandma wolf pet to uncommon. Back in the hub, I quickly used my dwarven treasure to apply the royal reforge to my mithril necklace, and I also put Titanic on the full mineral set just for some extra protection. I started the fiesta by mining 250 mithril in the upper mines for a commission, and after turning it in, I participated in a raffle and took out 50 glaciate walkers for one final commission to get us to Hot M3. This unlocks 2 insanely useful perks, being the Pickobulus, which throws your pickaxe and mines a bunch of blocks, and mining spread. Since the mineral armor's mining spread doesn't work on mithril, the Hot M3 mining spread does, which means we'll occasionally be able to mine an extra ore. I did around 8 quests during the event and eventually stopped after getting stuck with a commission that I can't do or is too risky. This mining fiesta was also at a pretty bad time, being from around 12 AM to 3 AM for me. And while I was thankful for the mining fiestas, it was pretty clear that I was ready to be done. It's over. It's over. Yes, it's over. Here's all the loot I got. I'm so tired, I am going to bed. I'm going to be doing a brief interlude between each of these videos to say a couple things. What you just watched was episode 1 of my hardcore Ironman series, and while I still think that video came out well, I think each video is better than the last, so try and see if you can notice how my editing style evolves and improves over the next few parts. Also, I'll be leaving in the intro for the next section as I think it's helpful for the overall viewing experience. Chapter 2, A Slippery Slope. How long would it take to get a booster cookie in Hypixel Skyblock? Probably not too long. Just go fight Arachne like every other Ironman player. Well, what if you had just one life? You'd probably play a lot differently, right? Well, today, that's exactly what I'll be doing. This is part 2 in my hardcore Ironman series, and while you can still enjoy this video without seeing part 1, I highly recommend checking it out. Last time, we managed to partake in 4 mining fiestas to get a full set of mineral armor and even reach Hot M3. Today, we've got a lot to cover, with my main goals being to get a full set of ender armor and my first booster cookie. I forgot to claim the spooky festival rewards from the last video, so I make sure to do that before upgrading my fishing minion to tier 4. Oh, and here's proof that I still haven't died. I have 2 charges on my experimentation table, and now that we have a rare guardian pet from the last video, I go ahead and do them. After just one experiment, I managed to get it to level 40, which is pretty insane. And unfortunately, the second experiment didn't go as well, but I somehow managed to get another guardian pet. I then give Cat the lion pet to start the upgrade to rare, and head over to the mushroom island to gather 64 glowing mushrooms. I then used that to purchase 8 more chum buckets because I'm slowly working towards the chum talisman. I do now have enough prismarine shards to craft the prismarine blade, which is a lot stronger than you may think since it has a massive 200% damage boost in the water. This does unfortunately mean that I'm going to have to do the painstaking process of EXP mining and going back to my island for all 21 enchants. The Pickobulus ability did at least make this relatively fast, but the entire process still took almost 45 minutes. However, after seeing that I collected 2 refined titanium and almost a stack of enchanted mithril, I was thinking about doing something crazy. There are quite a few drills in the game, and the intended route, especially for Ironman, would be to start with something like the ruby or mithril drill. However, if you're absolutely insane, you can grind a hot M4 and immediately start working towards the titanium drill X355. This requires an insane amount of materials, and while most of them are tedious, the titanium is on a whole different level. Each refined titanium costs 16 enchanted titanium, and each enchanted titanium costs 2.5 stacks of regular titanium. This essentially means we need a total of 25,600 titanium just for the starter titanium drill. And while I did manage to get some during the mining fiesta, this still means we're only about an eighth of the way to the drill, at least in the titanium department. Anyways, what's important is that we now have a maxed out prismarine blade, so I made my way back over to the buyout because I'm just one rusty coin away from unlocking the hermit crab pet. Yes, that's number 32. Let's go. There's a bunch of other stuff we need. We really need this rod. We really need this armor set. But for now, we're getting the hermit crab. Let's go, dude. I quickly then went back to the hub to purchase a fishing EXP boost for him and then got right back to it. And also, I finally talked to Hattie where I unlocked these cool fishing spots, which I'm pretty sure you can't see until you complete this quest, meaning I missed out on a lot of these. I ended up catching 8 more rusty coins over the next hour, but other than that, there was nothing too eventful. With over 20 hours put into this profile already, I think it's finally time to head to the end. Luckily, I was already able to two-shot the Enderman, and after killing 5 of them, I purchased the Void Sword from the Lone Adventurer. This begins a whole new enchanting cycle, so I got to grinding. During my grind, there was another tasty mithril event, which rewarded us with our second Dwarven treasure and another Dwarven Orotes. I made sure to go back to the hub and apply the Reforge to my mithril cloak before getting right back to grinding. Finally, max Void Sword. Oh wait, I need to go reforge it. There we go, sharp void sword. We managed to get a very respectable amount of loot while gaining this EXP, bringing us to 21 total enchanted titanium. By the way, I know this is only my second video, but I wanted to let you know I'm gonna be uploading these every Friday. These videos take a lot of time and effort to put together, so if you enjoyed them, please consider subscribing. I don't really care all that much about stuff like YouTube rank, but it would allow me to use the /nick command to change my name on the server, which I desperately need. Back in the end, I talked to the Lone Adventurer again, who tasks us with completing the end armor and equipment set. My luck seems to have evened out though, because I managed to hit Enderman 10 in the bestiary before even dropping my first armor piece. A little later, I managed to drop the boots, but these boots must have been cursed because I reforged them, and I'm not joking, over 120 times before getting the pure reforge. I'm not sure if this is a glitch or something, but this is 13 times overall as the chance of getting pure. Anyways, the chestplate ended up dropping not too long after, and thanks to the grand EXP bottles I snagged, I was able to max it out without mining at all. It took another hour, but I finally managed to get the last armor piece and max enchanted it, along with 2 pieces of equipment with good reforges. The next morning I woke up and the island of Jerry was now here, so I went straight up the mountain to do the chicken minigame and was rewarded with the frozen chicken talisman. I'm not sure if it counts as a death if you fail, but luckily I managed to get through all of them on my first attempt, so I'll never know. I had a much bigger goal in mind though, being a tier 12 ice minion. And if you think that sounds crazy, you're absolutely correct. I started grinding immediately and managed to drop a glacial talisman pretty quickly, along with some hoodie that I don't know what to do with. I figured it was worth it to purchase the winter sack with all the ice I'd be gathering, and while I knew I'd be here for a while, the mineral set made it a lot less tedious than I thought. I managed to craft the ice minion and got it all the way up to tier 8 pretty quickly, but I knew the last few tiers would take a lot longer. At this point, I'd been here for almost 3 hours and managed to collect 1,000 white gifts, which is pretty insane. And after about another hour, I finally had all the ice I needed. I went ahead and crafted the tier 11 minion, but for tier 12, you need 1,000 enchanted ice, 300 North Stars, and 1 million coins. To get these North Stars, you need to open gifts, but luckily, any gift that you give to someone else, you will also get the rewards of, and I had a few to say the least. Since this series is hardcore, I'm going to continue making it as difficult as possible, meaning I won't be opening any presents from other players and can only give mine away. There's probably a rule I could make, like I can only get as many presents as I give, but to keep it simple, we just aren't accepting gifts from anyone. I ended up inviting a friend to open all my gifts, and by the time all of them were done, I had a lot of money and managed to drop 9 snow minions. But most importantly, I managed to collect enough North Stars to upgrade the ice minion to tier 12 and purchase a few enchanted books for some future upgrades. Back in the lobby, I collect my first New Year's cake and also purchased a New Year's cake bag. With my leftover ice, I was able to turn my glacial talisman into the glacial ring, but believe it or not, I actually didn't have enough ice for the artifact. so we'll have to finish that up later. I did have one more trick up my sleeve though. By using 3 iron and an enchanted ice, we can craft a magical water bucket. And additionally, if we bring a raw salmon and fish hat to the spruce woods, something pretty cool happens. All right, here we are at the Viking house, and he says he wants us to help him remember the sea. First thing we need to do is put this water bucket here. And if we spam our shift button, additionally, put this, that in there. And if we spam shift, a few more fish splashes, okay. I'm sorry that my keyboard's really loud. We should almost be there. There we go. All right, and with that, we can purchase the Raider's sword. Let's go. This sword may not seem crazy on paper, but it gets stronger every 500 kills and the more oak wood we've collected. For the first time in this series, I can enchant without taking any trips to the mines thanks to the Titanic experience bottle I have, and I of course make sure to max out the sword with it. And finally, sharpness. Now, keen-eyed viewers may notice I skipped over the luck, looting, and scavenger enchants. And while I did apply them, I forgot to press record when I did, so here's the fully enchanted sword. And while the sword is already quite strong, my wood collection was sitting at a pathetic 1400 and I needed 50,000 to max out this sword. So I made my way over to Galtea for the first time. I started by talking to Hina, where she teaches me about the heart of the forest, and then meet up with Swoop, who hands me the book of progression and explains what sweep is before handing me a seriously damaged axe. I then cut down a fig tree to complete his quest and meet up with David, who sends me over to Alan, where I purchase a hunt axe. I then have to take down a chill shot with Odin and purchase a pocket black hole from Albert. I head south to meet up with Jaeger, who teaches me how to use a fishing net, and then meet up with David again to learn about shards. Then Orion taught me how to use a lasso, and then I finally complete my training. I talked to Kaisha and siphoned my first shard, which to be completely honest, I still don't fully understand. I ended up fusing some shards for a fan flare shard and received a cool cloak from David. Thankfully, this means I've completed the chapter 1 quest, and that's all the hunting stuff I'm going to be doing, at least for now. I did unlock the vault, which was cool I guess, but I finally did the main thing I came here to do, which was purchase a full set of canopy armor. I made sure to go ahead and put efficiency on the axe and the double bit reforged to maximize our drops. Immediately I got to grinding, but someone in the lobby needed help finding Fisherwoman Enid, so I went ahead and helped them out. I then got right back to grinding, but after about 30 minutes, the same person needed help finding Fisherman Gerald, so I helped them out again. Oak 9, it means that we have just crossed 25, yeah, there we go. 25,000 wood total. All in all, this took about 45 minutes, but we're gonna keep going until I fully get to 50,000 to max out our Raider sword. That might do it. That might just do it. And there it is, 50,000 total oakwood collection. Honestly, not too bad of a grind compared to some other stuff we've done, but this does not mean that we have 150 total strength on our Raider sword, which is absolutely crazy. You may think gathering all this wood was solely for the purpose of maxing out the sword, but additionally, all of this will be a huge help for crafting minion storages. I participated in another mithril event to get another dwarven ore oats and started cooking up 3 refined mithril. Even after starting those 3, I ended up doing some relaxing mining to wrap up the evening and forgot to take out the loot from the mining fiesta, so I actually have a lot more mithril and titanium than I thought. Before going to bed though, I grind chickens in the barn and then crafted and set up a tier 2 minion, as I'd really like to get enchanted eggs for some pets. I also set up a minion storage for it thanks to our wood and crafted 2 super compactors, one for the fishing minion and one for the chicken minion. The next morning I woke up and checked my chicken minion, and thanks to the loot he collected, I was able to unlock the recipe for the feather talisman. I finally went back to the end to finish up the last 2 equipment pieces, and while killing obsidian defenders, I gathered enough obsidian to craft the gravity talisman. Shortly after, I managed to complete the full ender set, which was great, and even managed to get 2 more bestiary tiers, which allowed me to upgrade my grandma wolf pet to rare. I decided to grind in the end a little while longer since I was able to one-shot the 4.5k health enderman, and after selling all the armor drops, we are now just shy of 4 million coins. I made a quick stop at the forge to collect our refined mithril and immediately immediately started 3 more as I want to keep the forge running as much as possible. Back in the inn, I continued to work grinding Enderman and end nodes for maximum profits. After about an hour, I'd only managed to bring our total up to 5 mil, so I knew we needed to switch it up. As much as I wanted to wait for minions until after I got a booster cookie, they really can't wait any longer. I want to start farming, but first it'd be ideal to grab a rabbit pet and an agronomy sack, so I made my way over to the barn and took out as many animals as I could. And after about 15 minutes, I managed to craft a tier 2 cow minion and pig minion. Next, I made my way over to the desert where I grinded rabbits and sheep until I could make the minions. I only did tier 1 for these two because I couldn't be bothered to grind rabbits any longer. Back at the island, I made a small setup for each of them and was able to give them all medium storages thanks to all the wood we had. I got a little impatient and went to the garden anyways as I needed a break from grinding mobs. While there, I delivered 25 wheat to Sam and got my first compost from the composter, which I used to purchase my first plot. I spent way too long cleaning this thing out, mostly because I don't have a booster cookie, so I wasn't able to fly around in the garden. Afterwards, I met up with Sam and we opened up a shop for visitors and I filled my first request for some copper. I went back to the hub to grind enough seeds to paste our first plot, and with the wheat, I was able to craft a farm suit armor and a farming talisman. But I still wasn't ready to farm just yet. The personal compactor I have has been super useful thus far for auto crafting. However, when farming wheat, you get both seeds and wheat, and my personal compactor can only auto craft a singular item. This means we need to upgrade our personal compactor to the next level, but that's going to cost us 14 enchanted redstone blocks. Luckily, I did have some left over from the mining fiestas, but we're still going to need 7 more. I started chipping away at the total and participated in a raffle event, which I of course lost, and finally after another hour or so, I had my personal compactor 5000. Back at the base, I took care of my super pairs to reach enchanting level 20 and unlocked a new minigame which I completely failed. I enchanted my rookie hoe with harvesting 5 for now, but I plan to upgrade it later. I then went back to the hub to farm wheat and complete visitor requests for Felix, Lynn, and Tom, and then got to wheat grinding. During the process, I had already managed to hit garden level 5, which was super nice. I purchased Skymart vacuum to take care of a pest, and a little later, my first 2 composts had finished cooking, so I go ahead and unlock the second plot. Once it was cleaned up though, I sent some visitors away before using all my enchanted wheat to craft the farm armor. I grinded wheat for over an hour and ended up with just 4 enchanted hay bales, which was a little disheartening seeing as I need 16 of them for the enchanted agronomy sack. Back in the hub, I claimed my lion pet, which is now rare, and then gave Cat my hermit crab to start the upgrade to uncommon. I needed a break from farming, so I went to the end and found the dragon short bow to complete a quest and then snag one of my own from the pearl dealer. Thanks to another Titanic EXP bottle, I'm able to max out the bow pretty easily, and here's a quick look at it. My next goal was string collection level 3 because I now have access to the quiver, which will allow me to sort arrows here rather than take up space in my inventory. Additionally, all the spiders got me to bestiary 15, which allowed me to upgrade my grandma wolf pet to the epic rarity. I headed back to the end to grind enderman, and as much as I love the raider sword, the void sword is just better here, seeing as it can one-shot the 9k enderman. While grinding, I managed to drop a rare enderman pet, which is always welcome, and not too long later, I'd killed so many endermen that I was able to craft the aspect of the end. I spent literally the next 3 hours grinding enderman until finally... So I have 11.4 mil, and the booster cookies are 11.6 mil. So after selling all of this, I should have enough. I'm going to try to keep some of the armor to sell. Is this enough? 11.6. I think this is enough to get our first booster cookie. 11.685. No, we're just short. We're just short. I need to sell 1 armor piece. Okay, let's sell this. Okay, 11.69. This should put us over the threshold. And now, our first booster cookie. Let's go. Oh, dude, I'm actually so excited for this. I've been wanting to get this for so long, and I'm so happy to finally have this. Also, if you don't believe me, I've killed 8,300 endermen so far. So that should tell you that I've killed a lot of endermen. So we now have a booster cookie, and surely I'm going to be using it in the next episode and not leave it in a chest to be forgotten, right? Also, please do not take this series as a hardcore Iron Man guide. I prefer to play Skyblock in the way that's the most enjoyable for me, which is a lot different from the optimal progression route. I often go out of the way to do tedious things like grind out the tier 12 ice minion, which is definitely not considered optimal. Remember what I said about that titanium drill? Well, I wasn't joking. Chapter 3, Ice Climber. The titanium drill line is known to be the most difficult to obtain in all of Skyblock. But what if you decided to skip all of the other drills and start with the most tedious one, all while having just one life? In this video, I take on the gargantuan task of crafting this drill and grinding out hundreds of hot end quests, all before stepping foot in the Crystal Hollows. I hope you enjoy. This is part 3 in my hardcore Ironman series, and while you can still enjoy this video without checking out the previous episodes, I highly recommend checking them out. I begin the day by checking on my minions and manage to upgrade a few of them with my loot. More importantly though, I collect my chicken minion and now have the recipe unlocked for an enchanted egg. I only have enough to craft one though, so instead of crafting a pet, I give this one to my minion to start producing more. Back at the hub, there's a new mayor that's been elected in Diana. This is really nice for me because it allows me to purchase the Griffin pet for just 15k coins. I'll be foregoing any upgrades right now though for a few reasons. I could probably grind this thing up to at least rare relatively safely if I stock up on claws and feathers, but the common Griffin and the legendary Griffin give the same amount of magic find, which is all I care about from this pet currently. This works out well for me because 1, I don't need to grind the upgrade materials, and 2, the common Griffin pet is way easier to level up than the legendary one. However, all of that is irrelevant because we have one main goal today, and that's to obtain the Titanium Drill X355. Up until now, I've been using this very depressing fractured mithril pickaxe, so let's make some upgrades. I first upgraded it to the bandaged mithril pickaxe, and additionally purchased the rusty titanium pickaxe to increase our fortune for titanium specifically. I wanted to upgrade it immediately, but I'm missing the bejeweled handle, and since I skipped over glaciate armor thanks to the mineral armor from the Fiesta, I have just one glaciate jewel. Before starting the grind though, I stopped by the hub to pick up a combat boost from Zog because I wanted to start leveling up our new Griffin pet. Oh, and I also claimed the hermit crab pet that I low-key forgot that I gave to Cat. I would upgrade it to rare, but unfortunately I don't have enough rusty coins. I then made my way over to the mines and started grinding glaciate walkers. Almost immediately, I dropped the helmet, which is nice I guess, but not too long later, I had all of the glaciate jewels that I needed. In the forge, I claimed my 3 refined mithril from the last video and started forging the bejeweled handle along with 2 more refined mithril. Luckily, the handle only took 30 seconds to forge, so I was then able to upgrade my titanium pick. Back at the base, I of course fully enchanted it, and while there's probably a better reforge, I don't know of it, so I purchased 2 black diamonds in the hub and applied them to my pickaxes. Before we start doing some serious mining though, I really need a mining pet. Back at the island, my chicken minion has already produced 1 enchanted egg, which then allows me to craft the mithril golem pet. And while this pet isn't bad on its own, the legendary variant is the real prize, granting an additional 20% mithril powder gain from all sources. Luckily, the first upgrade costs an easy 512 mithril and takes a very short 5 minutes. The process for upgrading this pet is extremely simple, and to get this thing to legendary, it only takes an hour and a total of 56 enchanted mithril, which luckily I already had at the base. There's the uncommon, rare, epic. We now have the legendary mithril golem pet, which means we can actually start our mining grind. Once the golem was done, I gave it a 40% mining EXP boost, which thankfully I had plenty of from all the events in the dwarven mines. I had some flow state books stored up too, so I put flow state 3 on my mithril pick and had enough left over to put flow state 2 on the titanium one. I also did my daily super pairs for some bonus EXP, which got my mithril golem up to level 17. And with all my preparation complete, I headed over to the mines, but something crazy was happening. A group of people had spawned in an insane amount of titanium, and when they said it was okay to start mining it, I only took a little bit since I didn't really contribute. I participated in a raffle and actually won for the first time, and then started mining all that I could. The grind was going pretty well to say the least. I managed to hit mithril collection level 7 and even mining 26, which is a pretty insane milestone. After a short break, I logged back on and claimed the final refined mithril that I needed for the drill and started cooking 3 refined titanium. Remember when I said that the titanium was the most tedious part? Well, that's still mostly true, but in addition, we need 6 gold plates for this recipe, and each gold plate costs 2 enchanted gold blocks, a refined diamond, and 5 glaciate jewels. I decided I'd work on the gold first, and luckily I did still have some from the mining fiesta, which translated into about 4 enchanted blocks. I do a quick refresh on my cake buffs, and then got straight to gold mining. After about 30 minutes, I managed to craft 4 more enchanted blocks and then spent another 15 to get us to 10 total. Next up, we need 6 refined diamonds, which is the equivalent of 12 enchanted diamond blocks. To make things worse, I only had 50 enchanted diamonds, so I knew I'd be in for a grind. I got straight to work though and quickly hit Diamond Collection 7 to unlock the block recipe, and during this grind, I kept spawning in golden goblins, which will actually be pretty relevant later. I ended up spending about 45 minutes here and managed to get 4 enchanted diamond blocks, which isn't bad at all. I then collected and upgraded a few minions to wrap up the night and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up extra early and remembered to claim my community upgrade from Minion 2 and immediately started Minion 3. I then decided that it's finally time to take on some more commissions since we're chipping away nicely at the drill parts, but I do need Hot M4 to even unlock the recipe, and additionally the extra forge slot will be super helpful. The quest I'm currently going for is Goblin Slayer, and you'll notice that I'm actually 36% of the way there, and every single one of those were golden goblins, which is kind of crazy. I headed over to the goblins and managed to drop a quick glacier jewel on the way, which is always welcome. After a short few minutes, I managed to complete the commission, but let's pick up the pace. Nice, we actually got a dwarven treasure. That is so good. Oh my gosh, that's it. That's it. Hot M4. Oh my gosh, dude, that took so long. Oh, also, here's a look at all the loot we got during these comms. I then made my way over to the forge to collect my refined titanium, and then started making 2 refined diamonds and 2 more refined titanium. Oh, and thanks to Hot M4, I was actually able to unlock the perk to decrease forge time. Luckily, I had a ton of powder stored up, which allowed me to upgrade it to an 18% time reduction. Shortly after, I managed to win another raffle, which gave me the final dwarven treasure I needed to have a full set of royal mithril equipment. As nice as it is to have extra forge slots, I actually need things to forge, and I simply am lacking in items, specifically in the diamond department. I still need 8 more enchanted diamond blocks for the drill, so I got straight to mining. During this time, I had my first fan interaction, which was really crazy. The guy was super nice and told me that he enjoyed my videos, which was super awesome. Anyways, a little while later, I wrapped up my mining session with a total of 6 enchanted diamond blocks. I then took a break to edit the first part of this video, but when I got back on, I knew it was time to take on the part of the drill that I was dreading the most. In general, mining mithril and titanium is pretty safe, and you can only really die if you're fighting glaciites or get caught off guard by a goblin raid. But unfortunately, the drill engine we need costs 10 treasurite, which has a measly 1 in 200 drop chance from treasurite hoarders. This means there's a real chance of dying, but to maximize my survival chances, I decided to farm them using my dragon shortbow as much as possible. In addition, the mithril golem pet is really nice here because it gives us a buff to our defense and all combat stats while on the mining islands. Oh my gosh. Wait, that first one was so fast. I haven't even killed that many. That's 1 down already. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, I have 21 arrows left. Regardless, I'm so happy to have this treasurite. Let's go. There were still a few other components needed for the drill motor, and while I had the iron, I was essentially out of redstone. Before heading to the mines though, I finally reached bestiary 20 and was able to upgrade my grandma wolf pet to legendary. Also, you may be wondering why I include little details that aren't exactly relevant to the main goal of this video. For example, stuff like the grandma wolf pet and events in the dwarven mines. The reason for including these is because I want to document the full journey of this hardcore series. So even when I go do something like reforge my equipment or enchant an item, I try to include it regardless of how relevant it is to the main goal of the video. Anyways, I then got straight to redstone mining, and during the process, I mined my 100,000th ore to get the epic rock pet, which was really cool. After about 30 minutes, I managed to get the remaining redstone and crafted 3 enchanted blocks. What you're about to see next is literally just me logging on every so often to claim and start new things in the forge. 2 refined diamonds, 2 refined titanium, 2 more refined titanium, and 2 more refined diamonds. The next time I logged on, I was able to start a refined diamond and the fuel tank, and now I'm out of stuff to forge. We still need a few more diamond blocks and 25 glacier jewels, so let's get to grinding. I managed to get 18 of them after just an hour, and later that night, got back to work to grind out the final 2. Oh yes, there's number 20! and I was then thankfully able to start 4 golden plates before bed. The next morning, I got on and checked everything I had, and the final materials I needed to complete the drill are 4 enchanted gold blocks, 4 glaciite jewels, 4 enchanted diamond blocks, and 1 more refined titanium. So I got straight to it. And there we go. Our 4 enchanted golden blocks. We are done with gold blocks for the titanium drill. After getting the gold, I went ahead and refreshed my cake buffs and started mining diamonds, which took a little bit to find a lobby without someone already mining. During the process, I ended up losing another raffle, but finally... And there is our 4 enchanted diamond blocks. Yes, we're so close. Next up, I tackled the titanium, which took almost a full hour. And finally, I killed some glaciites to get the final fuel jewels that I needed. With all the drill materials done, I went back home to craft an enchanted iron block, and then went back to the forge to claim my 4 gold plates and start cooking the refined titanium, a drill motor, and 2 refined diamonds. But while browsing the recipes in here, I made an awful realization. The titanium drill X355 requires hot M5, and I am nowhere near that. Wait, no. Please don't tell me I have to edit all 150 quests into a... Commission milestone tier 3. We get an extra commission slot. We are officially just over halfway. This is it. 9 hours of comms. I should have done this over multiple days, but I did it all in one day because I'm crazy. Hot M5 and level 41. Oh my gosh, that was so tedious. By the way, we got an insane amount of loot. We got all of this random stuff, and way too much glaciite armor. Before calling it a night, I collected my titanium and 2 refined diamonds and started cooking the final gold plates for the drill. So assuming I did everything correctly, I should be able to get the drill in the morning. This should be all the materials here in my inventory. This should be everything we need. Oh my gosh. The titanium drill X355. It'll be done in just under 3 hours. I cannot wait. I can't believe it. It's here. The titanium drill X355 is done. All that's left to do is fully enchant it and then test it out. All right, let's see how fast it is compared to the mithril pick. So this is the mithril pick. Not too bad. This is what I've been using for the past like days. And now the titanium drill. Okay. Is that underwhelming? No, this is good. This is good. This is definitely good. Yeah, this was worth it. This was definitely worth it. Well, next time we're definitely going to be applying some upgrades to this thing. Okay, we have a very powerful starter drill, and although I could definitely go and rush Yogg armor, we will not be doing that just yet, as I've barely touched my minions and I want to get some of them working ASAP. Also, the next part of this video is where I really feel that my editing style started to come together, so see if you can notice any big changes. Chapter 4. Cold Plunge. How long would it take you to craft 10 minions? Probably not long at all. But what about 50 or even 100, and all while having just 1 life? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today, because this is hardcore Ironman, meaning if I die just once, that's it. I have to delete my profile. This is episode 4 of this hardcore Ironman series, and while you can enjoy this video without having seen the previous parts, I highly recommend checking them out. The first minion that we're going to tackle is the coal minion, but before we do that, I stopped by the hub to purchase a wooden pickaxe. Oh, and by the way, I still haven't used my booster cookie from 2 episodes ago, so let's go ahead and pop that. This is a huge moment. I've been saving this for after I get the drill, and I'm so excited to finally use it. We can start earning bits. I need a god pot. I then make my way over to the dwarven mines and reset my hot M tree, as I don't really need the forge anymore, at least for now. This is the tree I'm going with because it gives us a lot of chances for lucky things to happen. Today, my Sky Mall perk is a 10 times chance at golden and diamond goblins. I immediately got to grinding coal. And while I didn't end up spawning any goblins, I was pretty quickly able to get coal minion 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I stopped by the hub to purchase another wooden pickaxe and then got to iron mining. Nice, we can now craft Iron Minion 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I went back to the hub to get another wooden pickaxe, mined gold, and crafted the first 5 tiers of the gold minion. Whoa. This challenge is way too easy. You're just crafting easy minions to tier 5 so you can put 100 in your video title. Well, yeah, but I just spent 60 hours getting the titanium drill. Okay, well, let's at least get some variety. I quickly take care of my experimentation table and then head over to the desert. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, I need enchanted cactus green for the next minion tier, so I only take this one to tier 3. I then head over to the barn for the melon and pumpkin minions. Tier 2 melon, and tier 2 pumpkin. Following that, we're going to be taking on netherwort. And while I was able to craft a tier 5 minion pretty quickly, I decided to stick around and grind out the potion affinity talisman, ring, and finally the artifact. Finally, we hit netherwort 9. I've been doing this for almost 45 minutes. And with that, we have the potion affinity artifact. Let's go. This will be so good when we get our god pot. Oh, and thanks to the extra netherwort, I was even able to take the minion up one more tier. The next morning, I woke up and tried to get my first god potion, but no, I'm 15 bits short. No, I'm gonna have to come back. Okay, I'll be back when I have enough bits. While I waited for the bits, I went over to the end with the goal of crafting the Enderman minion. Thanks to the pearls, I was able to craft Enderman Minion 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I finally have enough bits to purchase the God Potion. Boom, there it is. We now own it. Oh my gosh. You do not know how important this is to me. This profile is now 11 days old, by the way, and we are just now getting our first ever God Pot. So I'm so excited. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it. Oh my gosh, I'm so fast. Yes, let's go. Next up, I made my way over to the graveyard, but I have more in mind here than just a minion. I managed to craft zombie minions 1 and 2, but additionally, I dropped enough poisonous potatoes to craft the vaccine talisman. Since we're close by, I made my way over to the spider island and something pretty cool happened. Oh my gosh. Is that rare? I feel like this is rare. We just dropped the epic tarantula pet. What the heck? I know these are like super common from Arachne, but I can't do Arachne yet because I don't want to die. Dude, and I'm farming spiders over here because I don't want to be farming them where people are spawning like strong bosses and stuff because I don't want to get one shot. So I'm farming them here. Dude, wait, I'm going to equip that right now. I mean, I might as well start leveling it up since I'm fighting spiders anyways. I didn't realize just how tedious it was to grind spider eyes, and I ended up spending almost 45 minutes here to craft cave spider minions 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 is too much work, so we'll be skipping it at least for now. Next up was redstone. This one only took like 30 seconds, and no, I'm not going to be doing another fast edit for this. They take a really long time, and I only mined like 15 blocks of redstone total, so it would have been short regardless. Thanks to that, I was able to craft redstone minions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Afterwards, I made my way over to the desert where I spent some time collecting sugarcane. With that, I can craft sugarcane minions 1, 2, and 3, but additionally, I can use the leftover cane to craft the speed talisman. Since we're here, I went ahead and took care of the cocoa bean minion, bringing our total to 41. Okay, we've been doing a lot of crafting, but I'd like to remodel the base. 1, because it's really ugly, and 2, I want to organize my chests, which will continue to get worse if I ignore them. I decided to go with prismarine because I think it looks nice, and also don't expect some big castle or anything. All I'm really going for is a big square that I can store my items and place my minions in. After over 3 hours of building and moving items, it was finally done. All right, here is the fully done base. So what I've done is I have a spot for 32 minions. We're not gonna have 32 minions for a very long time, but I do have a spot for each of them when we do. Additionally, I've gone ahead and organized like all of the loot. So like as you can see here, we've got like our diamonds, gold, iron, and I've organized it in a way so where I can do like the iron, enchanted iron, and then blocks of enchanted the mithril one could still use some work, but as you can see, everything for the most part is like really organized. I decided to go ahead and place 4 fishing minions for now because I want to start working towards sponge armor, which I'm well aware is still pretty far away. I also went ahead and started 4 refined mithril in the forge because I have way more than I know what to do with after doing almost 200 commissions in the last video. While here, I head over to an area that I always forget exists, which is the lapis vein in the royal mines. Here, I managed to craft the first 5 lapis minions. But additionally, I decided to do something very tedious. Shocker, I know. The experience artifact increases all EXP gains from orbs by 25%, but I'm more interested in the fact that this is an epic talisman, and I'd like to get as many as possible to start powering up. I don't have the recipe? Oh my. So if we do this, there it is, the experience artifact. This actually wasn't too bad. This is only about a 30-minute grind, but that means we have added another epic talisman to our accessory bag. Since we're here in the mines, let's go ahead and take care of the diamond minion. Mixing it up, we're heading over to the deep caverns because here lies one of the more unique minions. And to get it, we need to farm emerald slimes. These guys do not drop very much slime, so even after grinding here for a while, I only managed to craft tiers 1, 2, and 3 of the slime minion. Back in the hub, we can easily grind for wheat minion 5, which admittedly we could have done in the garden. However, this still only took like 5 minutes, so I didn't mind doing it here. Then at the barn, we can grind out some potatoes and some carrots. Next up, we are back at the spider's den taking down some mobs that I've probably never bothered to grind on any profile before. Gravel skeletons. With all of these bones, some of which may or may not have been purchased from the adventurer, I managed to craft skeleton minions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I know we kind of flew through these recent minions, but we have something a lot bigger coming up. Back in the mines, I head over to the emerald veins with the goal of crafting the minion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Emerald Minion 6 brings us to 89 total minions. Of course, I'm saving something a bit bigger for the end, but let's do something extremely tedious first, because what kind of video would this be if I didn't? Let's grind out the Emerald Armor set. Oh no. Alright, this is our first enchanted emerald block. This thing alone took about 15 minutes, and I'm grinding out 24 of them. Okay, our drill has actually run out of fuel for the first time. And also, I really like this mod because it tells me of my flow state streak. And we mined 4,450 blocks so far. We are at 7 enchanted emeralds, which is pretty good. I'm saving for 8. I want to craft the chest plate first, get the hardest piece out of the way. But I don't know how to refuel my drill, so I'm gonna go over to the forge and do some research and figure that out. Oh, I need biofuel. I need to go buy this from my garden, don't I? All right, I'm back with some biofuel. So if I do this, put a biofuel. Nice, our drill is back to full. Okay, that was incredibly simple. Okay, I've actually picked up the pace quite a bit thanks to flow state. And this only took about an hour, so we should be able to finish the rest in like another hour or 2, which is not bad considering this emerald, this is hard to get, yeah. So quick update, we have 213,000 emerald collection, but for the full set bonus, we need over 1 million, which I don't know if, we'll see where I'm at when I'm done. I don't know if I have it in me to grind out 1 million emeralds, but we will see. Update, we have officially made it to the leggings. And additionally, we are a little over 400,000 emerald collection. We might be able to do the mill. I really don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I need to finish the armor and then see where we're at. Okay, we now have enough for the helmet, meaning all we need are the boots. All right, we finally have the last armor piece. The emerald armor boots are finally here, meaning we have the full set, but we could also grind out the emerald blade. All right, so this is, I don't know, I will do some testing. I don't know if this is gonna be a good enough weapon to be worth using. I do have 5 mil, in my purse, which is not bad. But let's go ahead and craft this just so that we can say we have it. The emerald blade, I will max all of this and enchant it soon, but there's a few other things I want to do. So now that we have that, we also have enough emeralds to craft the emerald ring, which is another talisman, which I'm super down to go ahead and craft. Honestly, our talisman bag is still looking underwhelming, but it's getting better. Okay. Our emerald collection is about 2/3 of what it needs to be. We need 1,050,000 is the exact number to max out the buff on the emerald armor. Okay, the thing is, I'm not going to craft this armor and not max it out. I feel like I just straight up have to max it. So we will grind out another 400 something thousand emeralds. So let's get back to it. All right, as you can see, we are at 1.049 mil. So if we mine just a few more emeralds here, we will be officially have maxed out the emerald collection here. So let me take a quick peek. Surely that's enough. Oh my gosh. 1.5 mil to max the buff on the full set bonus tank on the emerald armor, which is huge because I want to be as tanky as possible. This took 4 hours. Please subscribe. Oh yeah, let me max it out real quick. So you might think something like that is finale worthy in itself, and to be honest, it kind of is. But we're going to be taking our little cobblestone minion from the very beginning all the way from tier 1 to tier 12 for these last 11 minion crafts. This grind wasn't nearly as bad as I thought, and initially I was planning on getting every mining minion to tier 12 for this video, but unfortunately the hardstone minion exists. So while I still will make a video getting every mining minion to tier 12 in the future, it won't be until we power up a bit more. And with that, I now have the tier 11 minion, all 16 plus stacks of enchanted cobblestone, and over 2 million coins to finally purchase the tier 12 cobblestone minion. And with that, we have officially crafted 100 minions. Oh my gosh. So now that we have a good minion setup and a nice island, surely we're going to get into farming, right? Well, no. Instead, let's spend 45 hours in the end. Wait, didn't this guy say he only plays in a way that's fun for him? How is this even fun? Chapter 5. Snowstorm. Yup. That's me killing Enderman for a mere 1 in 170,000 chance to get this rare pet. Why? Well, aside from the fact that I'm crazy, this pet has an insane perk which increases the chance of getting special zealots. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, stick around and you'll find out soon enough. Oh, by the way, this is part 5 of my hardcore Ironman series. And while you can still enjoy this video without having seen the previous parts, I highly recommend checking them out. I begin my grind by farming wood. Well, you see, I need more minion storages. In the last episode, we crafted 100 minions and these guys really could use some storage upgrades. So I spent about 20 minutes farming to craft a tier 9 wood minion, which will be passively farming wood while we work towards this legendary Enderman pet. Also, I was recommended by some people in the comments to purchase a remnant of the eye here, which I didn't know you could do. I thought you could only get them by using summoning eyes. Hopefully we never even use this item, but what it does is save you when you're close to death, but it only works here in the end. Oh my gosh, we just got our first epic Enderman. The legendary would have been insane to get here, but I'll take it. So if we take all of this armor, we can actually donate it to this altar, which will give us dragon essence. With this essence, we can purchase cool upgrades, but the main one that I'm focused on right now is Zelluck. This also gives us an additional chance to spawn in special zealots, which will stack up nicely with the legendary Enderman pet. The next morning, I started out, well, of course, by farming Enderman. But there are a few important optimizations we need to make, and the most tedious thing we need to get our hands on is apples. Yes, apples. As far as I know, you can't really farm or buy these, so your best bet is to purchase some saplings and dirt and wait. If we turn these apples into enchanted golden apples and additionally combine them with ender pearls, we can craft the saving grace. There's some interesting lore behind this item too. As far as I know, the only other person to document a hardcore Ironman series like this is Rage Train, and that was over 5 years ago before Ironman even existed. But I believe he ended up dying because his saving grace didn't work and he died to a tier 4 spider boss. I I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's what happened. Honestly, I have no clue if this is still bugged, but regardless, I'll be keeping this in my inventory because it gives me a little bit of peace of mind. There's no time to rest though, because the Spooky Festival is starting in just 2 minutes. With my emerald armor, I feel safe enough to grind in the end despite all of the other players here, but I was still too scared to open any chest because I literally don't know how much damage these guys do, and well... Wow. The one chest I accidentally opened and I get a Bat Person talisman. Okay. Nice. I collected a healthy amount of purple candy during this festival and used it to upgrade my candy ring to the candy artifact, adding another epic talisman to our collection. Now that I could finally relax for a minute, I decided it would be worth grinding out the mythic endermite pet, which is a lot easier to get than you may expect. The reason this pet is so nice is because it gives you an increased chance at rolling extra items in the draconic altar, and with how much ender armor I'm going to be sacrificing, this is definitely worth getting. We can craft the mixed mite gel. Almost all this mite gel I got during the Spooky Fest, which is pretty nice. So now that we have this, we can talk to Kat again, give her this, and as long as we have 64 enchanted endstone, which we do, along with this, in 1 hour, we will have our first mythic pet, which is pretty exciting. Real quick, I want to say thanks to Charlie for making this Minecraft skin for me. I asked them if they wanted a shout out for their socials and they said they were good. So again, thank you so much Charlie for making this, and thank you to the other people who also submitted skins. I really appreciate each and every one of them, and I'm keeping the other ones too, just because I think it's really cool that people took the time out of their day to make something like this. Most importantly though, Kat now has our mythic endermite pet, and this is huge. If you see the perk right here, sacrifice, it increases the odds of rolling for bonus items in the draconic altar by 0.1%. Obviously that number will go way up, and I'm actually going to equip this and go do some experimentation table stuff right now to try to level this thing up. Nice. Just like that, our enderman pet is already up to level 25, meaning we have an additional 2.5% chance from the sacrificer perk in the altar, which might not sound too crazy, but keep in mind we're going to be doing literally probably over 1,000 of those. So yeah. Now that we have this pet, I've been stockpiling a ton of ender gear, which I've been waiting to salvage until we have the mythic pet. So let's go take care of that. After all of our sacrifices, we are at 980 dragon essence. I'm going for 2,000 because I have enough summoning eyes to do at least one dragon, but the increased chance at superior dragon would be super awesome. I know that's not the main goal of this video, but it would be super ideal to get this. Oh my gosh, 2,035 essence. This took so long, but I am now going to purchase Dragon Piper 1. Boom, we now have a plus 10% chance to spawn a superior dragon if I place a summoning eye. And as you can see, I have 8. I have 8 summoning eyes here, and I'm actually going to use all of them now. I don't think there's any more optimizations I can make before summoning any dragons. So we're gonna summon 2 dragons, and hopefully at least one of them will be a superior. So yeah, I'll be back when that happens. All right, here we go. What is our first dragon gonna be? This is actually really exciting. If it's superior, I will freak. Young, I'm okay with young. I'm super okay with young, as long as I hit it at least once. I did hit it at least once. All right, let's see what we got. Oh my gosh, AOTD on first drag. Second drag, superior would go crazy. Wise, I'm okay with wise. I'm super okay with wise. Okay, boots is a little bit unfortunate, but I will take it. I will take boots over nothing, as well as our first wise dragon. So we have wise dragon boots, and we have the AOTD. It is so sick that we have the AOTD. That is so awesome. By the way, the traveling zoo ended up happening around this point, so I decided to go ahead and purchase the elephant pet because I knew it would be useful down the line. A little bit later, I was able to do a few more dragons, and the loot from these guys have continued to be great. Chest plate, that's so good. Oh my gosh. By the way, throughout this entire process, whenever people do dragons, I make sure to get at least one hidden so I can pick up a few frags. That might sound pretty insignificant, but trust me, with the sheer amount of dirty leeching that I will be doing, these will add up quite quickly. Okay, I forgot to press record, but we just summoned an old dragon. I need one of these eventually. So this is fine. This is an old dragon, which I'm not crazy about, but we do have enough to do one more drag. So I'm gonna find a lobby and hopefully do one more. Oh, we actually got the chest. Yes. Oh my gosh. Let's freaking go. We've gotten really lucky with our dragons, I'd say. Like, extremely lucky, actually. After grinding a few more Endermen, I had finally collected enough Dragon Essence to purchase the upgrade for Zelluck 3. I grinded a few more Endermen, but before I knew it, I was heading down to Florida for a fall break trip. I won't touch on this too much as it's not the main point of this video, but my family and I went to the new Epic Universe Park in Orlando, which was honestly super fun. I was at the park most of the day and usually didn't make it back to the hotel until around 8 p.m. In the evenings, I made sure to get on to grind some Endermen and leech a lot of dragons, and even got up early some mornings for a little bit of extra playtime and to collect the New Year's cake, as I'm trying my best not to miss any of them. Fast forward to the final day of my trip, I had ridden all the rides that I wanted to, which was pretty much all of them, but the How to Train Your Dragon area was particularly cool to me because I was hoping to be able to train a dragon of my own. I even ended up buying a Toothless plush, which hopefully will give us a little bit of extra luck when searching for the dragon pet. So while I didn't manage to drop the legendary Enderman pet on the trip, the day I got back would be one to remember. The first thing I did after arriving back home was purchase a booster cookie because I hadn't had one active during my trip. And as soon as I had accumulated enough bits, I also went ahead and purchased another god potion. All right, I believe this is the final one that will get us to 6,250. And if you look, we are at Zelluck 2, and it says we need 6,250 for Zelluck 5. So I can go ahead and purchase Zelluck 3 for 1,250, Zelluck 4 for 2,000, and Zelluck 5 for 3,000. And I now have a maxed Zelluck. I was hoping to like get this max, but I was also kind of hoping to, you know, get the pet before this. But having this max is good. I'm very happy with this, but we still have a lot of work to do. But hopefully it won't take too much longer to get the ourselves the Enderman pet. We will see. I brought a good friend with me on this trip, and we did a few dragons in the evening back at home. Superior, 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 superior. Unstable, unstable chest plate.
You got chest plate?
Yeah. Wait, sick. Superior. Well, wise. Wise is good. Helmet. I'll take helmet. And I got pretty lucky with my drops yet again, and was even able to craft 3 full sets of dragon armor, being the unstable set, wise set, and young set. The young dragon armor is what I decided to wear, as the extra speed boost should make killing Enderman even faster than it already is. But of course, I can't forget to max it out. Oh, and I finally maxed out the AOTD that I low-key forgot about, so my bad. So, did I even drop the legendary Enderman pet? And honestly, is it even worth it? I almost have all of the dragon armor sets aside from Superior, and well, I've killed over 50,000 Endermen at this point. But if you think I'm going to quit this far in, you'd be very, very wrong. And while testing out my young dragon armor and my new AOTD, something pretty crazy happened. Oh, I just got it! I just got the legendary E-Man! Oh my gosh! Dude, it just happened! It just happened! Right after the dragon armor! Oh, dude, I just saw it in the chat! Oh, what the heck? Oh my gosh, dude, that's so good! Wait, hold on. Let me get away. I need to check how many I've killed. I got it. Okay, let me check the kills. Okay, what's your guess?
55,000.
I'm gonna guess 60K. 62,494 for the 0.0006% chance. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect to get it tonight.
Show hours. Show hours.
Oh yeah. Playtime. 110 hours and 5 minutes. I think I started this with like 70 hours.
Showtime in the end.
Oh yeah, playtime detailed. Let's see. 45 hours in the end. And almost all of that was E-Man and Leeching Dragons. Oh my gosh. So if we go to my pets, I have about almost exactly 2 full pages of rares, but additionally, I have a full chest of epic Enderman pets as well. Of rare Enderman pets as well. I'll put the number on screen of how many it is. I'm not counting it all right now, but oh my gosh. That concludes my first 100 hours in hardcore Ironman. This is honestly some of the most fun I've ever had playing Minecraft, and despite the progression being much slower, it really gave me time to appreciate some of the otherwise overlooked items and armor sets such as the Emerald Armor and Emerald Blade. If you're at all interested in trying hardcore Ironman for yourself, consider joining my Discord server where we have a dedicated channel for hardcore Ironman players. I'm in there a good bit myself if you ever want to chat or are looking for guidance for your own hardcore Ironman. And no, you don't need to be a hardcore player to join. There's plenty of other non-Ironman channels, and I have my mod pack listed there as well, as I know a lot of you have been asking for it. This video took a lot of time and effort to make, so if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing so you don't miss the next 100 hours of my hardcore Ironman series. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.